Hi, Austin.
Hi, how are you doing, Maya?
So well, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's been a very busy Monday.
Having an extremely productive day. I hope you are as well. I am really pumped for this conversation and so grateful for your time. We like accidentally discovered this town hall process a couple of weeks ago, and the people watching us loved them. And even more than that, I loved them as a way to showcase incredible leaders doing badass work. Uh, So thank you for joining today. I'm excited to be here. I'd love for you to introduce yourself to the people watching at home.
Yeah, sure. So, hi, everybody. My name is Austin Davis Ruiz. I'm a native Houstonian, and I'm here in Houston, Texas. I'm the Communications and Marketing Manager for the Montrose Center, which is the LGBTQ plus center here in Houston. We offer a wide array of services and programs to the community, from counseling and therapy to support groups to emergency food for those that are in need. And I'm actually fairly new. I've only been here since mid-February. So I'm still trying to learn the ropes of everything in the organization.
Well, it's incredible to have you here. I'm excited to talk to you in this moment about the urgent work that we're doing. Today's town halls are going to feature conversations around the many moments we find themselves in. We're in the midst of a global pandemic. We have ongoing racial injustice, systemic racism in this country. There was a Supreme Court decision handed down just last week. And then just the ongoing work that your organization and our organization does to support young people and their health during this time. So I want to first, and then for the folks watching today, please ask us questions. I can see them. So Austin, seems like you're willing to have an interactive conversation with me, if that's okay. Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So please send in your questions. So first, I want to ask you, within a matter of weeks, organizations across the country were forced to cancel their in-person programming. The foundation's work exists largely online, but for organizations that just are so steeped in community work like Montrose, can you tell us about the shift to telehealth services? What did that transition look like for you and your team?
Yeah, well, it's actually interesting because we at the Montrose Center were already planning on launching telehealth for our clients just because, changing times, we got to stay updated. We have to be able to serve people no matter where they are. And as we know that there are barriers for some people to even access our programs and services. And one of those barriers is physical distance. So we had already been planning on moving to telehealth. And then the pandemic definitely kind of forced us to do it a little more quickly than what we had imagined. But really everything went pretty smoothly. It was a lot of trying to get messaging out to our clients and really kind of helping them transition because, we have really young clients. We have clients that are really, on the older side of the spectrum. And so we're really, the first couple of weeks of the pandemic was just trying to let people know, like, hey, we're still here for you. We still want to be able to have, therapy appointments for you, counseling, case management. And then the change that, or the difficulty that we saw was that some clients didn't have access to technology. So they didn't have a computer at home to use. They didn't have a cell phone with internet access, or maybe they weren't out at home. So they didn't have a private space in which they felt comfortable enough to have those, counseling appointments or to do that case management. So then eventually we had to convert some of our rooms here at the center into kind of makeshift offices for them. So we put a computer in there with a telephone as well. People could come in, we would sanitize the room after their use to make sure that, we weren't passing anything on to the next person using the room. And so then that was also a really great way that we were able to transition to telehealth, allowing people to come into the center if they didn't have that comfortable environment at home.
Thank you. That's such an innovative and quick pivot on technology. That's something, especially with the distance learning, that a lot of schools are seeing too, in terms of ensuring equitable access to technology. So I'm so glad you were able to respond so quickly. So I'm going to take a step back, and you are responsible for taking care of so many people during the pandemic. Can you tell me how you're doing? How are you coping? I feel like we should just slow down and recognize being in this sector in this moment, and just want to ask how you are.
Yeah, I will say I'm doing a lot better now. I think the first couple of weeks of the pandemic were rough for everybody. Thankfully, I'm very privileged enough to still have a job, which I'm able to still, have an income and make a living. So that was definitely a huge relief for me personally. And I think what's been interesting about the pandemic, it's really kind of forced me to reevaluate my personal habits and kind of the things that bring me personal joy in my life. I always considered myself too busy to, do a lot of things. I was too busy to, brush up on language, or I was too busy to pick up a book, or too busy to talk to friends from school I hadn't talked to in years. And now that we have nothing but time, I'm like, oh no, I really do have time for those things. Like I really do have time to, schedule a coffee chat with somebody for 30 minutes on the weekends, or to pick up a book for, an hour before bed. So since kind of making that realization and trying to find the ways in which I can still be personally fulfilled in my life, I've definitely have seen my mental health improve a lot. And yeah, I honestly, it's been a really great week. I can't really complain about anything at this point. The SCOTUS decision, like you said, was wonderful news last week, as well as the decision for DACA. And we're still trying to, get some Pride events and things scheduled, since it is Pride this month. At the end of this week, we'll be marching with Pride Houston, actually, for their Black Lives Matter rally. So I have a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be grateful for. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, because Pride is canceled, and you said it in a sentence, Pride is not canceled, and Black Lives Matter. So glad that you're doing that work. Lady Gaga always talks about it's okay to not be okay. So
Mm-hmm.
however we're coping, then that includes us, right? It is okay. So let's go back to the question around technology. So we know from our research at Born This Way that young men and LGBTQ plus youth are more likely to say that they go online to find relatable people because it's harder to do so in daily life. Can you talk about how telehealth services has helped you and the Montrose Center reach out to more people?
Yeah, so it's really been an interesting shift, because we have a lot of clients that actually are much more engaged with telehealth than they were before in their appointments, because it's a lot easier for them. If they do have that comfortable space at home, they don't have to make the drive over here. I mean, we serve a pretty big region here in Houston, and really kind of like all of South Texas. So a lot of our clients sometimes have to drive very, very far to come into the center just to access our programs and services. So since making that switch, we definitely have seen a lot more people want to take advantage of that. We have a COVID fund that we are dispersing money for direct financial assistance for people. And so that has also brought more people into telehealth services, because as they come into the center at that first entry point for that COVID relief, then they start to see, oh, they offer counseling, they have case management, they have support groups online for trans individuals, for older individuals, for people surviving with HIV. So even that kind of touch point has, like I said, brought a lot more people into our programs and services, and we're starting to see a lot of people, get on the wait list for counseling and therapy, getting on the wait list for these virtual support groups. And that's the other thing that I think has been the biggest shift for us too, transitioning all of our support groups online. I mean, we have a community center here on the first floor of our center that we would rent out to any community organization. I mean, we had so many people accessing our center every day. For events, for meetings, organizational things, kind of everything, and that obviously had to shut down. But the support groups have still been running. So we still have our Hatch Youth support group that we're running. We still have our Trans Fabulous support group. So really, kind of making the shift digitally has opened up so many doors for us, and so many doors for our clients as well, to be able to access our resources from wherever they are throughout the city.
That's awesome. And Red Rockleys talks about hosting Zooms with kids and clients from the foundation. So we would
Mm-hmm.
so stoked to talk to any and all of your young people. So let's talk about one of your many youth programs, Hatch Youth. Tell me a little bit about what it does, what you focus on, and how the program is meeting the needs of LGBTQ plus adolescents in your community.
Yeah, so our Hatch Youth program is it formerly used to be its own 501c3, and so it actually, started way back in the day. Since it has become a cornerstone program of the Montrose Center, we actually just recently added a couple years ago a Hatch Junior. So Hatch Youth typically will serve, teens from 12 or maybe from 13 up until maybe like 18 to 24, and depending on kind of what program they're in. And then Hatch Junior will serve kids as young as 7 to 12. Yeah, and so typically what that looks like is it's 3 nights a week. They'll come into the center and they have a 3-hour long kind of get together where they can just be with other LGBTQ youth. You know, they can make friends. They can talk about things that are happening in school, things that are happening in their lives. And then we all kind of celebrate this, you know, year of Hatch with our Hatch Prom. That usually happens somewhere in the first week of June. Obviously, this year we had to cancel because of COVID, and we were trying to still figure out a different way that we can make that happen virtually. But the virtual meetings are still happening every week, and that's really been a lifeline for a lot of those LGBTQ youth because, I mean, Hatch has become kind of their family. A lot of these kids will join and stay for years because we serve, you know, such a wide age range in Hatch. And so some of the ways that we're still trying to meet their needs, obviously the support groups, but then also with our youth rapid rehousing program as well, which is where we got the most support from y'all. I think back in 2016 when Gaga was here in town for the Super Bowl. So with y'all's help, we were able to start that program, and we found that a lot of those youth are facing more difficulties now because of COVID. So typically, you know, we have a couple of apartment complexes that will go to house these teens that are now homeless because of, you know, who they are. And we definitely have seen increased challenges, not just with that, but also with these youth trying to get jobs, keep their employment, even facing transportation challenges, getting to their jobs if they still have them. So we're trying to do our best to find kind of workaround situations in all of these, but definitely it has been a challenge to continue that program and making sure that they're getting all the help that they can get.
Well, I am so grateful for that program, and I'm grateful that you're starting as young as you are because it's so urgent. We have a lot of questions about volunteering. So you do a lot of telehealth virtually. I found many, many, many ways to virtually volunteer, and I'll just show you. So I'm like obsessed with writing letters to, it's an organization called Love for the Elderly that writes to letters to senior citizens in social isolation. Aisha from Channel Kindness showed me this.
Oh, I love that.
It's called Glamour Gals, and it's drawings by young women, and they put them up at senior citizen homes. So I have this like stack of things that I do between phone calls. Can people volunteer virtually for the Montrose Center? And if so,
Yes.
the folks watching who are asking to do something for you virtually, how to?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say, first of all, go to our website, montrosecenter.org, and click on our volunteer tab. That'll take you to our volunteer portal. We are still trying to come up with some more virtual engagement events, but one of the best ways that you can donate your time virtually, at least, we've been doing what we call comfort cards for our seniors. So typically here in the center, we have a diner where we have all of our SPRI members. They'll come in, they, you know, share community. They're with older LGBTQ folks just like them, and, you know, COVID. So we are now putting comfort cards in the meal boxes that we're delivering to them. So, you know, you can write a couple cards. I mean, we've had some people send like 20 cards at a time. So whether it's 20 or just one card, you know, it takes just a few minutes of your day. You can mail those directly to us, and we'll make sure that those get put in the boxes that we deliver to seniors every week. I believe that we're trying to get something started like that for Hatch as well. So, you know, having letters to youth from older LGBTQ members of the community. And so that's one of the best ways you can volunteer your time right now. Like I said, go to our website, click on the volunteer tab, it'll take you to the portal, and it'll have all of the opportunities listed right in there.
Amazing. I am going to do that immediately. And for the foundation folks who are on this chat watching, if we can make sure that we add this to our virtual volunteering suggestions, would love to do that. So you have a really incredible background, Austin. You some amazingly essential skills when you were in school. I'd love for you to just tell us a little bit about your background and tell us about the role that you see for creativity and the arts, both in movement building and in community healing.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, I am a graduate of Duke University, and it's really kind of at Duke that I found the arts. I was always a artsy kid growing up. I was in theater, but really at Duke I kind of flourished, and I joined a Latin dance group. I started taking classes with the department. I was taking vocal lessons and was doing more musical theater with the student organization there. And so I really kind of came into my own in this artist, very centric world. And I really kind of see that as being my education at Duke. Rather than what I actually studied. And so trying to translate that into adult life has been definitely a little challenging at times, but especially now with everything that we're going through in terms of COVID, in terms of Black Lives Matter, I personally have found myself coming back to the arts all the time. So I've been singing more. I've been trying to learn, different choreographies. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can be engaged with the arts. And I think really the power of the arts is that it brings an understanding of the human condition to everybody. And, we can innately find something that we can connect to, no matter whether it's something that we're reading, something that we're watching, something that we're doing, something that we're listening to. And so I think that really the arts are kind of the first, that's kind of the first place where we see any kind of change in society. Artists are the ones that provoke thought. They provoke change. They ask us to question our beliefs and really to kind of look at things in a different way. And so I think the arts are, more important now than ever, not just because of the world that we're living in, but, virtually, it's so easy to engage in the arts now and it's so easy to consume. I, like I said, have been finding myself doing so many more artistic things now more than ever. So I definitely encourage you guys, whether it's learning dances on TikTok or, singing in the car, in your shower, or whatever, just find 5 minutes of your day just to do something artistic. And I think it might really kind of change your outlook a little bit.
Absolutely. And you have so many fans on Team Foundation. Me Too said Duke Sabrasura Hive.
Yes. Yeah, that was my dance group.
Me Too is saying that they're truly beautiful dancers. So you have made her. And then second, Josh, who is an incredible member of the team. He is a fellow theater kid, and he is shouting you hard.
Oh, well, thank y'all.
He has the most epic choreography ever. He's just amazing. So in the couple minutes we have left, let me ask you, what brings you hope? And how can those who are tuning in today support the Montrose Center?
Oh, what brings me hope? That's a really good question. Honestly, with everything going on and, there being so much noise in our daily life now, I think what brings me hope is just the ways in which the community can truly come together. I mean, just in the last 3 months, we've been able to raise $1.5 million for COVID relief here at the Montrose Center. And that's been from foundations, from donors, from volunteers. Like everybody has really pitched in to support LGBTQ Houston. And I think also just the ways in which we kind of see the community coming together now around Black Lives Matter, that really is what gives me hope. Seeing people, posting every day or signing petitions, donating to some wonderful organizations doing some great work around the movement. That is really kind of what keeps me going, seeing so many people just with this outpouring of love and compassion. And I think at the end of the day, that's really what's going to carry us through to the end. And then in terms of supporting the center here, like I said, we've been raising money for COVID relief. If you're able to donate, please do go to our website and click on our give tab. Like I said, we hit the $1.5 million mark and we're going to raise that to 2. So hopefully we can hit that. So your donation will go to provide direct financial assistance to those in need here in Houston, whether that be for rental assistance, for food, gas, utility bills, phone, anything. We're just trying to help the community and give back to them, during this increased time of need. So if you're able to donate, please do so.
Awesome. Thank you, Austin. I would love for you to write a story for us on the amazing work you do at Montrose for our channelkindness.org platform. So we'll have someone follow up with you. And just really quickly before I leave you, do you have a favorite Torchy's taco?
Oh, yeah. So my favorite Torchy's taco is going to be the fried avocado one. I forget what the actual name of it is, but that is my go-to all the time, fried avocado.
So good. So good. Torchy's taco. I don't know how I can get it here in California, but I urgently need it.
I'll see if I can send you some soon. I'll see if I can make that happen.
All day long in exchange for those. Austin, thank you so much to you, to the Montrose Center, the entire team. Thank you for the amazing work that you do, the life-saving work that you do. It's an honor to get to support you and feature you. And thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today.
Yeah, well, thank you, Maya, for having us. Like I said, we are so excited that you were able to, or that you asked us to join today, and we just couldn't say no. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
And this is the first of many conversations. It feels really, really awful to have to end the conversation on you. I'm going to end it and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.